Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance. Today's tool review is a Milwaukee tool. More specifically, it is the M12 Cable Stapler. Part number is 2448-20. So I've been wanting this ever since it came out. I think it's been out close to 2 years, maybe even a little bit longer than that now. But I'm also not a person that does this, day in and day out, uses a tool like this in my line of work. But it is times where it's going to be handy for me. There's going to be times even at my home where I'm building something new and I'm running electric and all that. It's just going to make it easier. It's a tool that I wanted to have, but I had to wait until I found the right deal to do so. Now, if I was a residential rough-in electrician, I think a tool like this is a must-have. You'll see that as I get into it. But this is going to be a tool review of more like a first impressions. I haven't had this long. I haven't put it through its paces. I am interested if any of you've had it longer. Comment down below what you think about it. So in this video, I'm going to share with you kind of the features of the tool out of the box, the amount of staples it holds, the features that it has, all those kinds of things. I'm going to share with you how it fits in and out of Packout. I feel like Milwaukee might have failed a little bit on that, but I'll show you that as well. And then again, I'm going to show it to you in some test cases on some wiring here that I have in my garage. Show you how it works with those. And again, hopefully you can make the decision for yourself at that point. Do I need to add this tool, into the mix of the tools that I own? That's the idea behind this. But let's go ahead and jump into the features. So first, let's go ahead and talk cost. So normal price on this is $229. That's what it's been at Home Depot ever since it's been released, at least at my Home Depot anyways. I was able to catch this deal today. They had it on sale for $199, so that's $30 off. But they also threw in 2 boxes of staples for free, and those run you about $17 a piece. So I saved close to $70. That's why I went ahead and pulled the trigger on this to pick this up. I felt like it was a pretty good deal, but again, at $229 even, if you're someone who uses this all the time, I feel like it's a tool that you might would want to have. Let's go ahead and look at the box, and I'll show you the kind of specifications that you have on it. There is a wiring chart as far as the cable installations that are approved to use this gun on. It's got 14.2, 14.3, 12.2, 12.3, 10.2, and 10.3. All of those you can double up on the NM-B cable except for that 10.3. Over here you get into the specifications on it. It has a magazine capacity of 45. You can get 1,200 staples per charge on a 2.0 battery. Again, there's no reason to really run high outputs or anything like that. There's the height, the width, and the length. It is a little bit bigger tool than I kind of expected it to be. You can see it there in my hand. I expected it to be a little bit smaller, but it's still not a bad size. It's very compact. And then again, it comes in at 4.6 pounds on the weight. I believe that's pretty much the bulk of everything that you need to know off of the box itself. Now you get into the features. It does have a belt clip, and it's a pretty decent size one. I like the size of that. It is also reversible as well, so whether you're a lefty or a righty doesn't matter on that. It does come with a magazine here that you can open up. It takes the Milwaukee insulated staples here. These are in rows of 20, even though it says it has a 45 magazine capacity. They slide right inside of this little bit wider slot right here, so you can take those, slide that up, put you another one in. You still got room for 5 more because these come in rows of 20, so I don't know why they did that, other than it does give you a little bit of room to stick them in there and slide it up, I guess. But I don't know that you're going to use the 45. You can close that up now. As far as the other features on it, it does have, if I put the battery in, you'll see if I pull this trigger here, it gives you your charge indicator. I got full bars there. It also has a LED light up here in the front to light up your, wherever you're working at, those kinds of things. It does have a safety trigger. You can fit 2 fingers on it, but as far as it's got a safety that this has to be pressed in order to shoot that out. So those are all the features basically pretty much on it, other than the fact that you can see, if you've got staples in here, it does give you that window as most nail guns, staple guns do. And then it does also like lock itself out. It doesn't allow you to dry fire it as well. So again, that's pretty much the features. Let me show you how it fits into Packout. So in looking at the Packout, I know that it will probably fit in any toolbox that you want to put it in. But as far as the organizers, these are probably what somebody's going to want to carry it in, because then you can carry some staples with you, other materials that you might use along with that cable stapler, even if you need some hand staples, something along the lines of that. This is where I feel like Milwaukee might have fell a little bit short. They should have did a little bit of thinking involved in the size of the cable stapler, because it within itself, again, is a very compact tool. But if you take this compact organizer, and again, this is the full depth organizer, takes the double cup and then the 4 singles. If I open this up here, it's not going to really fit in there. I can finagle it, push it down in there, It does fit, but it's extremely tight. Like it actually takes a little bit of effort to get it in and out if you put it down in there, because it kind of just smashes itself in there. I mean, if they would have given themselves just a very inkling of a small amount of room on this, it would have fit in there perfect. But again, even with that, you're probably not going to have a lot of room, you know, for extra staples and things like that to put in the side. So it might not would have been the best route to go anyways. Now, if you move over to this full-size organizer, again, this one's the full depth. I think this one takes the 11 cups or whatever, the 11 compartment organizer, I think is what they call it. If I remove the cups out of one side of the organizer, and again, I pull this one out a little bit tight to get it out of there, it fits in this one really easy. I mean, slides in and out of there just fine. So this just must be a hair bigger for whatever reason. Maybe it's because of this section right here on this one. So you've probably got enough room to have a very thin layer of foam if you wanted to. So if I had a piece of foam cut out like this, I could probably get this tucked down in there, make myself, you know, go in there and cut that out and all those kinds of things. Have that sitting in there to where it doesn't move around, nice and secure. And then, of course, I also have room to put staples in this middle compartment, and then maybe I want to put some hand staples in some of these for the places that I might not could reach with this, along with some other fittings and things like that. So this Packout organizer right here, this isn't going to shut because I haven't got it cut out of the foam, but it would for sure fit inside of this. No problem. I think this might be the better route for you to go, so you can house your staples and anything extra, you know, that you might need. But that's how the M12 cable stapler fits inside of both of the compact organizers from Packout. Now let me show it to you in use stapling several of the wires that I have here in my garage. So I got a couple 2x4s up here turned on the side in which you're normally going to staple wire to. I've also got a box here, so I'm eventually going to show you how close you can get to the box, because that's kind of important, whether or not you're going to always have to do this or if you can go in it at an angle. But just starting out with some different wires. Here's some Cat 5 cable. So again, this is something that is rated to do. I'm going to go in, clip that, also clip another one down here, and you can see it's tight enough that the cable still moves, but it's also loose enough that this cable is just not falling out of here. Like if it was really loose, the cable would be falling down just based on gravity. So there's your Cat 5, and let's say I even double it up. If I wanted to run 2, let me do that. Actually, let me put it on this other side so it's not in my way later. Slide it through there, staple another one. So you got 2 cables in there if you wanted to do that. I'm going to clip off this extra so it's not in our way. Next up on the list, size-wise, would be 14 2-wire. I've got some of that here. Same thing, going to staple it up here top. Also staple it down here a little lower. Both of those, again, loose, but still tight enough to hold the wire, but I can still pull the wire. That's pretty good in my opinion. Also says you can double that up as well, so let me line up 2 of these. And we'll put that on there. So there's 2 14-2s. Come down here a little lower. Another 2 14-2s. Again, still moving. So it self-adjusts based on the thickness, which is phenomenal. I mean, it seems like it does it pretty consistently. Next up on the list I'm going to go ahead and do would be, this is 10 3-wire. So there's 4 conductors in there, 3, and then the ground. This is the biggest wire that it says that it will do. You're not allowed to double this one up according to the, as far as the specs that it has on that. So if I shoot this in, we've got one there, another one there. Again, still loose, but tight enough that it's not going to just sit there and move around on me like crazy. So let me kick that one out of the way. And this is the one that kind of interested me, because this is what I use a lot of times. I've never really used MC cable, staples on MC cable. I've always used the little clips, but you can also use it on this as well. The box doesn't say that you can, but the code says that you can use staples on MC cable. And I saw another channel putting some in with it, and you can see there that the staples are set. The cable, again, still moves, but it is secure in the way that it's not going to move up and down, again, due to gravity. So now let's get into the 12-2, or actually I've got some 14-3. I'll throw that up there for good measure. So here's 14-3. I'll throw that down here. Again, same thing, 14-3, but now let me go to the 12-2. So again, 12-2, a white, a black, and a ground inside of there. I'm going to go up here to the top. I'm going to staple that in up here. Staple it down here as well. Same thing. Good movement. Still able to move right there. You can also double this one up according to the specs. Out of staples. Let me grab some. Again, still movement, all those things. So then the next question comes in. The last thing that I wanted to look at was how close to this box can I possibly get at an angle, or do I have to come in upside down in order to get real close to a box? Because obviously, you know, I can come down like this and get it extremely close. Staple one in there, that's too close, but just to give you an idea of that. Coming in at an angle on a 2-gang box, I'm pretty straight at this point. But the tallest that I can come in is right here if I was to go 100% straight. So we'll do that. And this is at an angle, the steepest angle. We'll see what this staple looks like. It goes in at an angle, not exactly straight. Let's go up here. That one, it seems like to me, that's pretty decent right there. And that's still in, and the cable's still able to move. Let me grab a tape measure real fast. So this is the closest that you could possibly get with a staple, with it in that vertical position right there, if you wanted to do that. And you can see you're still at 11 inches to that box, so you're still pretty good within there. You move down here, you're within 8 inches, and again, you can turn it upside down and get as close as you want to. So this is inside of, you know, newer wood. It's kind of soft, the same stuff you're going to run into in your house. But Matt HMM made a good point in an email to him. He said I might want to try it in some old wood. So I also went out to my barn where I've got some old oak framing, and I had a roof put on this at one time, and you were bending nails like crazy, putting nails into this framing. And you can see here I shot some 14-2, and it still did pretty decent. One of the staples didn't set quite as far as I'd like it to, but it still shot in there, still was holding the cable. But overall, first impression, I'm pretty impressed with this thing. I mean, to go to that many different size cables and get that kind of consistency to where they're all tight but loose enough that it's not pinching the wires, all those things, I just feel like they've really done a good job with this. Again, time will tell. This is a first impression type review. I feel like, again, if you're somebody who uses this all the time, like if you run this kind of stuff all the time, this would be a no-brainer, 100%, even at $229. Now, for the occasional user, you might still be better off to not spend $229 just because that's a lot of money. I don't think that's kind of priced for that, to just, you know, hammer some of these in with a hammer. But, you know, if you like convenience, if you just like having the right tool for the job, you know, all those kinds of things like that, this is going to help me in my work life. But then also anything I do at home, whether I build myself a new building or whatever it might be, it's just going to be nice to be able to have this. And the staples themselves, at $17 for a box of 600 of them. They come in a box like this. Of course, I've got some out of it. That's not a bad deal either. Usually that's where people get you on tools like this. You have to use these staples. You know, these will cost you an arm and a leg or something like that. But if you price out 600, unless you buy them in bulk and you buy yourself insulated staples, if I just went and bought boxes of these at 225 quantities to get to 600, I actually spend more money on these than I would for a box of 600 of those. And these aren't going to work on every single cable that this probably works on as well. So to me, it's not too bad. I was actually surprised with that. But again, overall, I feel like it's a really good tool. It's been out for a couple years now, so I am interested. Comment down below if you've been running it since it came out. How well has it been working out for you? Do you have consistent results for it? Have you had any problems with it? Those kinds of things like that. But as always, I hope this video was helpful in helping you make the decision if this tool is the right one for you. That's always the goal. But you guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. See you on the next video.